older I get, the more I love making memories, and I also love to preserve sentimental things. So I'm really excited to partner with Cricut to show you how you can take something super sentimental, like a card with handwriting of somebody close to you, and turn it into a piece of decor that you can display in your house. And let me tell you, it's easier than you might think. This is Whiskey and Wit. My name's Whitney, and on this channel, I love to share DIY and budget home decor, as well as Cricut projects, wood builds, really anything DIY. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to hit subscribe down below so you don't miss a future Whiskey and Wit video. Something that I have seen a ton of lately, especially as we approach the holidays, are custom signs or jewelry that includes handwriting of a loved one. Well, today I'm going to show you an easy way to take the handwriting that you have, how to process it to get rid of the background, get it into Cricut as an SVG, and then cut it on your machine to apply it to whatever you would like. Before we get into it, huge thank you to Cricut for partnering with me today on this video, and let's get started.
So for this project, I am using a wedding card that we got a few years ago from Alex's late grandma. She passed away this summer, and I thought it would be nice to take this handwritten message because it was so nice. It says, "Wishing the both of you all of the happiness in the world. All my love, Grandma Kay." And it was also nice because it was on a white card with a really bold pen. So this helps as well. You don't want too busy of a background. So step one is to take a picture, and you could easily do this on your phone like I'm doing here. You could do it on another camera, but the key is to crop out everything minus the text. So here I'm getting rid of the card text that was in there. I'm getting rid of any of the extra stuff around it, so it's just your text. That will help you later on. For handwriting, I recommend that you use this program, which is absolutely free to download. It's called Inkscape. You can Google it and find it for your machine. You're going to create a new project, which is going to give you this blank rectangle on your screen, and go up to File and select Import. Then find where that file is. If you took it on your phone, you'll have to transfer it over. You can AirDrop if you have a Mac, email it to yourself, whatever works. And then you're going to import it. Now these are the selections that I did. I left them all as they were default, except for the image rendering. I changed that to smooth. Then once you get it imported, it will probably be large like this. So I went up to zoom and just did zoom selection so I could see what I was working with. Then I went up to the top with my file selected, and you know it's selected because you can see the black arrows around the outside, and you're gonna select Trace Bitmap. This is something I didn't mess with any of the settings. I just clicked apply and it worked for me. So you may have to mess around with some of the settings if you've got a busy background, but this worked really well for me. Once you hit apply, it's going to give you two files. One is your text, which you see me moving around here, and the other one is your original image. So now you can select and get rid of that background image. You can just hit delete. And then I am holding down Control on my Mac. It's usually Shift on a PC to size this down, but keep the aspect ratio because you want to get it on to that rectangle that you're seeing here. That's just your page that you're working with. So once you fit it onto your rectangle, the last step that is super important is go back up to the top and click Path, Object to Path. I'm not sure what that does, I just know it's critical. Then I'm going to save my file, so I click Save As, and then I'm going to name this Grandma K something so I can find it, and I like to put my files on my desktop so they're easy to find. The last step is to save it as a plain SVG so you can import directly into Design Space without any issues. When I'm done there, I am heading over to Design Space. I'm going to go to Upload and select that SVG I just saved. So here it's only going to give me the option for a cut image because it is an SVG file. And then I'm going to click and add it to my canvas. Once it's loaded, your handwriting is in there to be sized and to get ready to be cut. I decided to cut it on a wood square sign that was unfinished, and so I needed mine to be about 6 inches wide. You can either stretch it like this or you can use the sizing boxes up at the top. Today I'm using my new Cricut Maker 3 with the matless cutting feature. However, you could do this on any Cricut machine, Joy, older Explorers, the OG Maker, so don't worry, you can do it on any machine. I'm just doing it on here because I like the matless cutting with this white matte permanent vinyl. Then for my surface, I'm going to be using this square canvas that is from Arteza. I really like these wood canvases that they have. They're really great for signs. So I just took it outside and gave the entire thing a good stain of my favorite color, Dark Walnut by Minwax, but you could paint it, you could stain it a different color, you could put this on anything else. There are a ton of options, but this is just what I decided to do. Then when my file was done on my machine, I got it out, and then it was time to weed. This one, because it is a smaller, this one was pretty easy to weed. I was wondering if it was going to be hard or not. I just took my time and used my weeding tool to push down anything that was coming up with the vinyl. Then I just took my weeding tool and got rid of any of the pieces that were inside vowels like A's and O's and any other pieces that needed to be removed. Then because I am applying on to some wood, I am using a less sticky version of transfer tape. Cricut's transfer tape is great, but it's super sticky. You guys have heard me talk about Expressions vinyl before and their paper transfer tape. This is their opaque transfer tape that I'm using here. It's basically like the middle stickiness between the paper transfer tape and the Cricut transfer tape. So I'm using it here so I don't pull up any of the wood or the stain I just applied. I'm carefully peeling back the back of my smart vinyl just because it's a little bit thicker than traditional vinyl backing. And then I'm going to apply it a little bit lower onto my sign just because I'm going to add a ribbon embellishment at the top and I want to make sure there's ample space. Then as I'm pulling back, I'm taking my time and using pressure, and if there's any pieces that need fixing, I did. And there you have it, your text is on your piece. Then I used this really pretty ribbon that I recently got at Hobby Lobby along with some Dollar Tree jute cord just to add some texture to the top. I'm just tying it on in a couple knots so that it's kind of a messy bow looking type. I'm not doing any of the ears of the bow, but I just trimmed the edges and I love how this turned out. Not only is it a great sentimental piece, but the process is relatively easy. I originally tried to import it into Cricut Design Space and use the eraser tool, and unfortunately that just took me a long time. So I am really glad that I found the Inkscape tutorial that I did, which I will link down in the description if you want to check that out too. But it was quick. I watched it 5 minutes and was able to get this cut out, and I absolutely love how it fits within our regular decor and has so much meaning.
Once I finished that sign, I had a really cool idea with a recipe that I have from my grandma. In our family, there was a tradition of my great grandma, who's no longer with us, making angel food cake on different people's birthdays. And so my grandma filled out this card for my bridal shower that included that recipe. And I decided that I wanted to use the same methodology to create a sign with my grandma's handwriting with this recipe that we hold near and dear.
This sign is actually a repurpose of this Hobby Lobby sign. I had this in our dining room and I recently did some updates, and so I decided that I wanted to make this over. So I just taped off the trim and painted the inside with 3 coats of black Waverly chalk paint to get a chalkboard look. Then I removed my painter's tape and it was time to create my file. So I did the exact same process that I showed you before in Inkscape to cut out the card from my bridal shower. And then I got some shapes so that I could start slicing. I knew I wanted to kind of rearrange this. So the first thing I'm doing is taking a shape. I'm putting it behind the top part of the recipe and I'm selecting both the recipe and the shape. When you do that, then you can click slice down in the right hand corner, and whatever is overlapped with that shape, it will cut as a separate piece. So basically this is how I'm taking the top chunk and removing it from the one file. Then I'm going to continue that again with another shape, and I'm going to separate the ingredients from the directions side at the bottom. The recipe card is a 5x7, and the way that this long and skinny sign was, I just wanted to make sure I could lay it out the way I wanted. So then I am figuring out what size I want, and then I'm cutting those into 3 pieces. Then to help me visualize, my sign is 23 inches wide by 9 inches high. So I'm creating a shape of that size so I could lay out my sign just visually. I'm a very visual person, so I'm laying everything out here, just resizing. You can resize your pieces just by pulling the arrows in the right-hand corner, just kind of like if you're resizing in Microsoft Word. I got everything where I wanted on my stager shape there, and my last step was to go to images on the left-hand side, and I wanted to find a piece that resembled angel food cake to me so that I could fill some of that open area. So I found one, I inserted it, and I ended up putting it in between the directions and the ingredients right in the center. And once I was happy with that, I got rid of my shape on the back, and then I selected everything and hit weld. The welding will help so that you are cutting one continuous piece even though you cut them apart. That way I know my spacing and everything is going to be what I wanted come the time it is to cut. Again, this is a project that you could absolutely do on any Cricut. I'm just using the Cricut Maker 3 today. I do like it because you don't have to cut with a mat, and also I like this little roll holder you can get with it so that you can easily cut and you don't waste a ton of vinyl. Then it was time to go through and weed, and I am not going to lie to you, this was a beast to weed. Here is me going fast, and here is real time what it looks like when I weed. Now, this is one of those projects that it was totally worth it, but just know that when you see me doing this fast, we'd be here for days if you watched me actually weed it. And for this one, because I'm applying over paint, I am using Expressions Vinyl, their paper transfer tape. It's just less sticky, and you don't have to worry about it ripping up that paint. Now, as far as sealing these signs, these are going to be in my house. They're not going to be outside or anything. So I'm not worried about sealing them because it is permanent vinyl. If you want to sell something like this or give it as a gift, you can always go over the top with a Mod Podge or a polyacrylic to seal it. That's up to you, but I get a lot of questions on how do I seal things. For myself, with these two signs, I am not going to seal anything, just as an FYI. I am so happy that I tried this trick. It's a lot easier than I thought, which happens to be the theme with all of these Cricut projects. So let me know down in the comments, what do you want to see me do next? What is a Cricut project that you wanted to try, but you're not quite sure how hard it's going to be? I'd love to be the guinea pig and test it out, so let me know below. I cannot wait to show my grandma this in person, my great-grandma's recipe in my grandma's handwriting. It's just so special, and I'm really thankful my Cricut was able to help me bring this to life.
I hope this video inspired you to create some decor for your own house or to create something sentimental and really special for someone this holiday season. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you have done this before or if you plan to try it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. And if you are new here, be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any future Whiskey and Wit videos. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye!